Well, Boise State goes as Ashton Jeanty goes. And right now, the running back is looking to go straight to New York City as he continues to chase history. He's currently on pace to break Barry Sanders' 1988 rushing record, where, if you remember, he ran for more than 2,600 yards in a single season. Jeanty has already racked up more yards through 6 games than Sanders did in that record-breaking season. So how else can we boost this kid's Heisman campaign to voters? Well, here's how he stacks up with the last running backs to win the Heisman. Jeanty has nearly doubled those rushing numbers from these 3 guys, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, and Reggie Bush. Of course, Henry is the latest to win the Heisman as a running back, and we know what he is doing in the NFL currently with the Ravens. So we will see if Ashton Jeanty is next on that Heisman list. Of course, his next chance to boost his resume comes Friday night against UNLV. And to get us ready for the action, we're bringing in a former running back, Robert Turbin, who will be on the call for this one. All right, Robert. Jeanty has an entire fan page right now dedicated on the Boise State website to this Heisman campaign. You can donate money, you can read about his records, you can learn all about this kid. Obviously, things have been so fun following him. He's currently co-favorite to win the Heisman. But Robert, the question is, how sustainable is it? Do you think we see him win that trophy at the end of the season?
I think he's going to win it. And it's going to be great for Boise State. It's going to be great for other Group of 5 schools in that position as well. What he's doing this season is unprecedented. It's extraordinary. It's rare. You hear coaches call him one of a kind, before his time. All the great things that people are saying about him are true. I got a chance to watch him for the first time at Hawaii a couple weeks ago before their bye week this last week. First time I got to call their game, and he was as advertised. And so he wins the Heisman. I know there's some other candidates, Cam Ward out of Miami, Travis Hunter out of Colorado. You can't deny him, not to mention Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback at Oregon. But Ashton Jeanty, to me, is the top guy for the Heisman right now.
Let me ask you this before we move on here, because we talked about him chasing that Barry Sanders history, right? For him to win this award at the end of the season, like, how good does he have to be each and every week? Does he have to continue this historic pace, or has he already done enough to prove that he deserves to win this trophy?
He's got to continue to be consistent. He's averaging over 200 yards per game right now on the ground. I don't think he quite has to do that. It's really rare to get 200 yards rushing in a game. And Ashton makes it seem like it's a regular thing. I'll tell you, as a former running back, it's not, okay? All right, who's watched a lot of tape of former running backs as well, okay? What he's doing is really rare. But if he can continue to average 125, 150 per game and continue to get into the end zone, he can put a stamp on his case for the Heisman.
I love that he just stands in the backfield. Everyone's been equating him to like Michael Myers, just standing back there in his stance. He's been so fun. We'll see if we can keep it going. But obviously, in order to keep that Heisman campaign going, the Broncos are going to have to continue to win football games. That continues on Friday with UNLV. Of course, this is a rematch, Robert, of last year's Mountain West Championship game where Boise State won their 7th over UNLV. The Rebels do not typically do well in this series. Robert, do you think we see 8 straight for Boise State tomorrow, or do the Rebels have something in them to get a win?
Well, it's going to be a hard-fought game by both teams. And there's no secret that UNLV has a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth from what happened last season. But this is a new team. They've been in a lot of close games this season. They've learned from those close games, obviously losing to Syracuse in a close one a couple weeks back, but then winning a close one against Oregon State last week. So they feel like those games have really matured this team and gotten them ready to go. The matchups are going to be incredible in this one. We talked about Ashton Jeanty for Boise State on the offensive side. Well, how about Jackson Woodard, the starting middle linebacker for UNLV, and their defense on that side of the football? That's going to be a matchup to be aware of this coming Friday night.
The last time UNLV won a game in this series, Robert, was 1976, just for context there. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. We obviously know that with the expanded college football playoff that we're looking forward to later this year, it's also created a lot of parity in college football. We've seen AP top #1s falling left and right, but when it comes to Boise State going into week 9, they are number 17 in the AP. That's the highest of any Group of 5 team. What's been the key to their success in maintaining not only a good season, Robert, but that ranking in the AP? How has Boise been able to do it?
Well, it's not only the fact that they're winning, but they're winning big. They're putting teams away. Now, a lot of people were shocked about the Hawaii game. That was a little bit of a closer game. They only won 28-7, but it was still a dominating performance, particularly in the fourth quarter. You just have to give Hawaii credit for the way that they performed. But the fact that they're putting teams away and winning big continues to separate Boise State from the pack as it pertains to the group of 5 schools. They're playing consistently. They're not turning the football over offensively. They've got one of the better defenses in the Mountain West as far as putting pressure on the quarterback. And so if they can keep that up, they can continue to climb the rankings.
Boise State was selected as the preseason favorite to win the Mountain West. UNLV was picked to finish second. So again, we just keep emphasizing the matchup here in this one. But Robert, if you're the Rebels entering this game, we talk about it full circle. You know, assignment number 1 is going to be stopping Ashton Jeanty. The only team that's been able to kind of contain him, keep him under 200 yards, was Portland State in week 3. He only had 127 in that game. What's the key to success for UNLV in getting a win this week?
Well, I will say that Ashton Jeanty did not play in the second half of that Portland State game. Yeah. So had he played in the second half, he might have gone over 200 yards. But the key for UNLV is going to be about discipline on the defensive side of the ball. You've got to be disciplined in your gaps as a defensive lineman, all right? And you can't be overly aggressive as a linebacker. When you're overly aggressive, that's when Ashton Jeanty can get you with the cutbacks and things of that nature because his running style is so patient. You mentioned it. He stands back there like Michael Myers. He does that because he's always relaxed and he's always slow to fast through. That's the coaching point, all right, for running back. Slow to the line of scrimmage, and then once you get the ball, boom, hit that turbo button and get through the line. So they're going to stack the box and going to have to really put trust in their DBs in one-on-one situations to help stop this running attack for Boise State.
We will see if they can get it figured out. Like I said, 1976 was the last time UNLV got a win in this series, but maybe it's tonight, and maybe it is with you on the call on Friday. Robert Turbin joining us to get ready for that big game happening on Friday night, the Mountain West After Dark. Boise State and UNLV going head-to-head, 10:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Boise State, by the way, looking to become the conference's first repeat champion since San Diego State did it back in 2015-2016. 10:30 Eastern, CBS Sports Network.